off. You know what I mean? We got like 2 more minutes to showtime, y'all. 2 more minutes. A big announcement about what's coming up next for my cooking career and what direction is going in. So make sure y'all tune in a few minutes. We're about to go live. And it's going to be amazing, man. I can't wait to share it with y'all. Look out for it. I'm going to hit you up in a few minutes. Peace. You're on mute. Can you hear me? I think you got me on mute. Well, I got you on mute for some reason. You're on mute on my side. I don't know. You hear me? You're good over here, child. I just can't hear you.
What about now?
There you go. I can hear you now.
All right, all right. Hey, welcome to the Really Charlie podcast. Let's start this over. Take two, man. Today's guest is Chef Gordon. Definitely love this dude, everything about him. And I even don't mind that he's a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Come on, man. Come on, man. You know what? God bless. Good night. I'm out. What's happening, brother? What's happening?
What's up, man? How you doing, man? It's good to hear
I'm
your
blessed, brother.
voice.
I can't complain. I can't complain about nothing, man. I'm blessed.
That's it, man. Look at that. Comments already coming in. Love it, love it. You know what? Michael Kahn, I hope you can hear me now, man. I checked out the mic. I should be all right, man. Michael Consatio. All right, here we go. But it's about Chef Gordon Woodbury, my man. Um, Definitely a dynamite cook. I tasted your food. I definitely been around your surroundings, and
Definitely.
man,
Definitely.
you definitely got a 5 star, man. As far as I'm concerned, man. Good
I appreciate
stuff.
that, brother. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we got to get you on your own TV show, man. I'm tired of watching these fools trying to cook something.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
I
Most
love
definitely.
it. I love it.
So first of all, you said I can curse, I can yell and scream, I can do whatever I want.
You got to be you, man. I
All
can't.
right,
I
all
can't.
right, all right. Let's
I,
go. Let's go.
I, I don't want to take away from this podcast. I want it to be original. I definitely want it to be um, on point.
Yep.
And if I try to filter you, then that's not the Really Charlie podcast. You know, the Really Charlie podcast wants you
Definitely.
to be a 100 at all times.
Definitely. Definitely.
Um, so what's new? What's new with you? You know, tell me something. What's new? You know,
I love
how
to reflect. I love to sit down every once in a while and just look at where I came from and what I've accomplished and how can I tweak certain things and do things better. So I do that at least once a month. Just sit down, stop everything, and just regroup. So when this pandemic hit, I was kind of ready for it. You know what I mean? I was kind of prepared for it. So um, a lot of times we are so busy rushing and running and grinding that we just forget that you gotta stop and enjoy that grind a little bit. You gotta stop and enjoy those blessings that you get. So when I first started cooking, it was actually in high school. Now the cafeteria, the Whalers, where the teachers used to go and eat at. So me, Kurt Cruz, and a couple other people, we would be in there flipping burgers for the teachers and cooking. And I loved it so much, man, that I would actually skip history, math, English. I'd be sitting there cooking all day. It was ridiculous, man. So once we got out of high school, I was like, what am I going to do? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start cooking. I had one job in the beginning. I worked at a factory for one day and I got fired. I said, oh no, never again, never again. But then I just started cooking and I started washing dishes and started learning and started grinding and I started watching and picking up from different spots. So I would work somewhere until I couldn't learn no more. Then I would leave. I mean, literally walking one day, I quit. Like, what are you talking about? I quit. Because once I couldn't learn no more from somebody, I can't even be around somebody that I can't learn from. I have to learn. I got to get something out of the deal. It has to be something that motivates me to want to do better. So I got to a point where they're cooking the same stuff over and over again. So I just kept bouncing around. And then I got to fast forward. I was doing major weddings up in Newport. I'm talking like $350,000 weddings. It was just ridiculous. We were doing one on Thursday, two on Friday, two on Saturday, and one on Sunday. There's a place called Ocean Cliff. And when I tell you yachts pulling in and helicopter pads, it was ridiculous. It was crazy. So it got to a point where I'm cooking this fine dining and doing all this fancy stuff. And the general manager came to me one day and said, Gordon, congratulations. You just hit $4.5 million in banquet sales. I said, yeah, I quit. He said, you quit? What are you talking about? I said, you can't pay my dental? And I'm making you all this money? Now, granted, they was paying me good money, but you don't tell me what you're making off me because I can make less than that for myself. So I'm riding around Providence. I found a little spot on Charles Street. Now, I'm fast forwarding a lot, but we'll dip into some of the other stuff. But I opened up a restaurant on Charles Street. And this is way before drive-in, dives, whatever that show is. I wanted something that people just come. I wanted the model was being at grandma's house, sitting down, eating, sharing with your family, laughing and joking and having a good time. Child, when I tell you, man, when I opened that restaurant up, it was in 2000. Nobody came, not one person. I'm sitting there for about 3 months. Nobody came. So what I would do, I would go to the club at night. Now buy drinks for people. I don't drink, so I would buy drinks. Come by and see me on Charles Street. Come by, check me out on Charles Street. Yo, come by. I was promoting it. I was inside the club promoting my business. I'm pushing. One day, man, I'm sitting down, Charlie, and all of a sudden I got hit. Boom! Tons of people started coming. It got to a point where people started to recognize what it was about, what it was. The motto was the pancakes were so big. If you finish the pancakes, you can have it for free. And I think in my 20 years of doing it, I think maybe one or two people finished it. But I ain't seen them since. So I don't know if they're still alive or not. It probably got beat down with the pancakes. But it was incredible, man. So I didn't realize the impact it had on people. One day I was at a play and I was on a date with this young lady. And it was a play that Genuine or Christopher Williams or somebody was in that play. So after the play, they all were in the lobby. So I'm standing in the lobby and I hear somebody say, there he is. That's the guy I was telling you about. And I'm thinking they're talking about, the person that was in the play. They go, that's the guy I'm talking, the guy at the breakfast spot. His food is great. I looked up, Charlie, they were just pointing and pointing. I didn't believe it. They were talking about me sitting next to a superstar talking about my breakfast spot. And I'm like, come on, man. So then I went home and Then I started taking it personal. Then I started stepping up a little bit. Then I started really, really getting ready for it. So it got to a point. Now, my train of thought's always been to control whatever you do, control it. So I opened the restaurant in 2000, but I bought the building in 2001. I'll say that to you again. I opened the restaurant in 2000, but in 2001, I bought that property. So no matter what happens, I own where I work. I own everything. See, there's a guy who's a good friend of mine who had a restaurant, a pizza place over on Reservoir Avenue. I would go see him. But guy been there for like 45, 50 years, and he never owned that building, paying rent forever. So I knew that my cash out, my retirement, my social security, my 401k was that building. So I pushed, and I never took a dime from that restaurant. That restaurant just had to take care of itself. Didn't pay me, I didn't make a dime off that restaurant. It just made sure it take care of itself. And what people don't realize, I had a full-time job at night from 11 o'clock at night to 7 in the morning, and then went open the restaurant. It got done at 2 o'clock and cleaned up, went got supplies. I was running around the clock for almost 15 years straight. So some of the things you see me do now is still benefiting off what I did 20 years ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's I mean, I've known some of those bits and pieces of that story, and I've been proud of you ever since I heard them. And it's it takes it takes a good mindset to a strong mindset to get things like that accomplished. And if
Yeah.
you do it, if you have it in your inner being, your inner self, you can accomplish almost anything. We got mutual friends that just basically just said, "Hey, I'm done. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna do that," and they've been successful. There's been some failures, but you know what? It just
Yeah.
takes that strong
Yeah.
determination. And if if I did listen, if I listened to some people when we were younger, guess what? I would have never had the career that I had. I would have just said, "No, all right, I'm not gonna do it." Um,
And it's sad. It's
your
sad. Somebody
decision's
that I
gonna have to.
love
Yeah.
dearly, she passed away, and she told me, "Oh, I never gonna go to that restaurant." She didn't mean what she said. I don't think she meant to be hurtful, but what she said fueled me. What? I can't do it? Me? Like
Hmm.
that gave me so much drive, man. I was not gonna stop until I control and own. To this day, people think, "Oh, you love to cook." No, I have a bad attitude, and can't nobody tell me nothing. So I had to create my own job. Could you imagine me asking you if I can go to the bathroom, if I can go on break, can I have a day off? Or I'm sick today. I don't want to come in. That to me, that never registered to me. Never.
Hmm.
If I don't feel like going to work today, I ain't going. If I want to go on vacation, I'm out. And I thought this way since I was a kid. I knew something. Listen, I know I ain't right. I know I'm not right. Yeah, man.
the
But and it's funny. It is funny too because a lot of places in Rhode Island, black-owned businesses opened up that I've helped over the years. There's little a pipeline from me to the majority of black-owned restaurants that's ever came through after me. It's crazy.
Wow,
Yep.
wow. The One of the comments was, "Where's your place now? What are you doing now at this current
Well,
moment?"
you know what, man? I and this is part of the big announcement. The last time I
Uh,
saw you, Charlie, you came to my brunch that I did. I was doing a little brunch, and I was popping up spots here and there. And it was funny. I didn't do it for the money because if you notice, every brunch that I did, I gave back. So a brunch that I did for breast cancer awareness, most of the proceeds went to cover the bills, but I gave to a good friend of mine whose daughter passed away. Then I would do cooking shows and personal stuff. So it wasn't about the money. So right now, and this is the big announcement I'm saying, I am totally 100% done. When I say retired, that means I will not be cooking professionally again. Like is because the people that suffered, no, I don't want to say suffered because they really benefit from it too. But the ones that I missed out on was my kids. Not
Okay.
seeing them. Because don't forget now, every Christmas, every birthday, every wedding, every funeral, every holiday, my job was to make somebody else's day special. So the ones that I didn't see as much as I would love to, my family, my kids. So now that I got married and I travel a lot, I'm enjoying it, man. I'm really enjoying not having to work, not having to grind and hit it so hard anymore. And I'm better. When you put things in place, you do it so you can benefit down the line. Like to me, the concept shouldn't be to work forever. That should never be the concept. The concept
True.
should be, let me plant this seed so I can always be able to eat. Not only me eat off that fruit, my children, my grandkids. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Like I said, man, and who's to say that I won't pop up and do something, some charity stuff or some donate stuff? But as far as me working a restaurant or a 9 to 5 day to day, that ain't gonna happen. And plus I'm old, man. I'm 51 years old, back hurting, knees hurting, beat down.
Hmm.
I'm done.
I don't blame you, man. Just keep that stainless steel stuff ready. Like you
Uh
said.
oh. But you know what though? I would love to find some young chefs, man, and create a nice community and really, really start working together with some of these. There's some amazing young cooks out here, man. Amazing.
Sure are. There's you just you've been paying it forward. I mean, since I known you, you're always trying
Yeah.
to do something for the next person, and like you said just previously about, you're missing out on a lot. You're missing out on a lot of family stuff, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure time, during the time you was doing all this, your family was there for you, but it's
Oh yeah.
still not
Oh
the
yeah.
same. Still
Yeah.
not the same when you're, in the backyard, you're doing this, you're doing that,
Definitely. Yep.
and so I get you. I understand that. The throughout, as you were growing up, you did a lot of things, had a lot of aspirations. Now, when I see your videos, I see you singing.
Uh-oh.
Was
Wait a minute
that
now.
now? There
So you
was
want you want to go backwards? You want to go back a little bit?
yeah, why not?
Okay.
That's a there's a lot
Okay.
of good stories, a lot of good stories with
How,
you.
how your
So
boy Fred Sanford do it? If I didn't care.
I love it. The you know, growing up, we had some friends that did some things, including you. And we had singers throughout the area.
Yes.
Um, we had dudes dancing and doing the right
Whew.
thing. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch got a lot of
Yeah,
our
man,
crew
my
right
brothers.
there.
And shout out to the late great Ryan Tavaz, man. That dude was phenomenal. One of the
Yeah,
best singers that I've ever been able to be around. The dude was phenomenal. Some phenomenal person, phenomenal singer. And like I said, rest in peace to him and his family, man. He was an awesome dude. Awesome dude.
and the thing is, he been singing like that since, you know. I mean, he always had a good voice. Like he didn't even need to be taught. He was probably taught a little bit, but that dude just he had a standing still when he was singing. Just
And I
he.
would never give it to him while he was alive, but I couldn't even stand close to that dude, man. That dude vocally was dangerous. I mean, I'm talking about at 16, 17 years old, Ryan Tavares was dangerous vocally, very dangerous
Mhm.
dude. And when what's so funny, man? And this is shout out to Charlie and Rujo. So there was the Ice Crew, right? And I just
Yep.
moved from Providence to New Bedford. And let me tell you this quick story, man. So in Providence, I left Providence probably at the age of 14. And then came to my father's church, sent him to New Bedford over on County Street.
Remember when?
So I get to New Bedford, and this is my first time ever being enlightened about Cape Verdeans. I never even heard the word before. Never heard it, never knew what it was. Nothing. I walk in and see some of the prettiest, not just women, just people, like gorgeous people. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So I'm starting to learn about Cape Verdeans, their food, their culture. And I'm like, okay. So when I got to New Bedford, it said it was a culture shock and it was different for me. So then I meet Charlie, Kurt, Hector, Scott, and they were in Ice Crew. Now, I'm a straight R&B dude. I love R&B music. So I'm watching them popping and breaking, but that wasn't really my thing, but I was watching them do it. So one of them, they were doing the show one day, and one of them said, yo, you look like one of the dudes from New Edition, Ronnie DeVoe. I said, okay. Maybe I was skinny at the time. So, so they added me to the group. Now, when I tell you relentless, Charlie and Ruggio made us practice every single day, show or no show. We had 5 or 6 songs lined up ready to go at any time. So we would go up to Boston. Now, there was a thing called Hollywood Talent Night with Maurice Starr. And there was a group called Nanook at the time. 5 white boys singing their songs. It was us, Special Touch, Techniques, Transitions, all these groups. So every year, every week, we go to Boston and do a show. Now the white kids, every week, their clothes looked a little bit better. Every week, their sound started getting a little bit better. And I'm watching like, yo, and we would win the shows. Like we would win the shows. Each person, different groups would win. All of a sudden, man, I see these young white kids on TV. That was New Kids on the Block. We literally would challenge them every weekend up in Boston doing shows, literally. And when I tell you our stuff was so tight, we was killing everybody. So, but Maurice Starr invested in them, and they became big time stars, as we all know. So after we started growing up, got a little older, and Special Touch came to an end, Hector and Scott, I guess the story that Scott told me, they were in the club dancing one day, ran into somebody that knew Mark, and said, Mark's coming up with a new group, and blah, 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 blah. Here comes the Funky Bunch. Mm-hmm. Now, the Funky Bunch come, and one day, Scott called me on the phone. I was coming to New Bedford. He said, give me a ride to Boston. I said, okay. He said, telling me, yeah, we have a new group coming out with Donnie Warborn's brother, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay. I mean, I didn't pay no mind. So I'm driving them to Mark Warborn's house. It was around Christmas time. Scott's getting his gift, I guess, he got from Mark. I think it was a Charlotte Hornets jacket. That's what it was. So we go to the door, and Miss Warburn opens the door. Mark comes out. We're talking, and I'm looking at this kid like, there's no way this kid's going to make it. There's no way. I knew Scott and Hector, whatever they touched would be crazy. But I didn't see it in him at first. Soon as I got home, a week later, I opened up Right On Magazine. It was game over. They literally just went bonkers. Like, it was all over the place. So I'm so proud of them, man. I'm so proud of what they accomplished. I'm so proud of their success, man. And you can check them out on YouTube, the Funk Bees. They're always doing great work. They're always traveling. They got some tours coming up. And shout out to Charlie. Shout out to Kurt. Like I said, we were really, really a tight family, man, back in the day.
That's good, man. That is great story. I mean, I'm still waiting for the podcast with the Ice Crew.
That would be sick. That would be crazy.
It's supposed to happen. I got some people working on it. It will happen.
Yeah. Oh, that would be phenomenal. What's up, everybody? What's up? I see all the highs and loves you, and I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of love for you, brother. A lot of love. A lot of people are proud of you. And
Chai, you know what's up, man? I didn't realize that. I had a tragic accident 13, 14 years ago. So someone had broken into my restaurant. They didn't realize, well, they may have not, but my restaurant was right connected to my little apartment I had. So I owned the building. So I took one half, put it into a little condo for myself, and my restaurant on the other side. I was out running around, came home. Someone had broke in. They were still in there trying to rob the place. Make a long story short, I got shot. So when I got shot, I pushed the person. They ran out the door. Cops come, ambulance. They rushed me to the hospital. So I was in a coma for like 30 days. And I'm laying in the bed. I finally come through, and a lady said, "Young man, are you famous?" I said, "No, ma'am, I'm not." She goes, "People really love you." And I said, "Yeah?" She goes, "Look over there." Now my room was sitting in a certain spot, and I could see the outside of the waiting room. And child, when I tell you about 200 people praying over me, man, I could not believe the amount of love that people have for me. And from that day, I said, "Lord, if you get me through this, I will not be the same person." So the person you see now is a result of going through the transition and God spared my life. My mission is to love people, man, and accept people for who they are and just enjoy life.
Awesome. Yeah, that stuff will wake you up real quick.
Yes,
Tragedy
sir.
stuff.
Yes, sir.
And you know when you may be inhaling and exhaling for your last time, it kind of you get a rude awakening, and you see the light, and not that the light was bad with you, but it also gave you another direction. And
And I didn't realize that I was so upset with myself because I knew there was a lot more that I needed to do. And for example, if I would have died at that moment, everything was a mess. Finances were a mess. There was no life insurance, and taxes. It was just and I said, I got to get this tightened up. When I tell you, the minute I came back to reality and started getting healthy again, first thing I did was got life insurance. The first thing I did was get a will and a trust, making sure that my family's protected. If something happens to me, what we don't do as Black people, back to when I was working up in Newport, I'm watching these young, snot-nosed, 20-year-old kids pulling up in Jags, Lexuses, and all kind of stuff, and they don't work for it. Grandma worked for it. Somebody worked and passed it on to them. So I'm sitting there
Preach.
watching. So imagine, Charlie, imagine if you lived in your grandmother's house that was paid off, and all you had to pay was the taxes. Your whole life would be different.
Hmm.
We get so consumed with finances and getting beat down that we just work, 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 work. To me, man, working is overrated. Work smart. Invest your money. I don't care if you make $1. 15 cents needs to go in the bank every single week. I got about 10 people, right?
Yeah.
We text each other once a week and just put done. That means we deposited some money in the bank. That means that we pay ourselves first. 5 people, or 10 people, excuse me, was all we do is save. I want to talk about money. I want to have friends that I can call on and say, "Hey, I see a piece of property. I see some land that we can snatch up. Let's all put in $5,000 and get it." Those are the kind of friends that I want. And that's what my whole concept now is about. It's about that. Excuse me about that, child.
No, no problem.
And at the end of the day, um, we got to learn how to listen to each other. Somebody did it before we did.
Yeah.
And we get to the point where we get so consumed with, "Oh, I know what I'm doing." Man, this thing, life is so uplifting and so exciting that every day you wake up should be a blessing, should be excited to what's next for me today, what's going on with me for the next 24 hours. But I was sitting in my house last week and I almost just bust out crying, man. I'm sitting home saying, wow, I've never been this stable in my life. And when I mean stable, I mean just I can go where I want, I can get what I want, I can go here, do whatever I want. And that's the concept of life, is being comfortable. I don't want to be rich. I want to be comfortable. I want to be able to enjoy my life and go as I please and I'm sitting there right here in Alabama. I bought a house in Alabama. And when I tell you, man, right now during this pandemic, Black people, white people, all people, if you get through this pandemic and you didn't learn anything about yourself, shame on you. Shame on you. Because where's the money, Charlie? Stimulus checks, tax returns, extra $600, the second stimulus, third stimulus, the second tax return in 2 years, and some people don't have no money. Where's the money? And the government told you, don't pay your rent, don't do this, don't do that. And some people just bought TVs and cars and I don't know. I know I'm jumping all over the place, but
No, it,
it's time, man.
it's it's definitely. I mean, you've been there. You're doing
Mm-hmm.
it. You're still doing it. So
Mm-hmm.
if they're not listening to someone like you that's doing it, then they're not gonna pretty much listen to too many people. And
Yeah.
there was this Instagram picture. It got two young dudes standing there at BMW. And you
Mm-hmm.
got another two dudes standing there at tractor trailer. They cost the same amount, the BMW and the tractor trailer. The only difference is the dudes with the Beamer, guess what? They're still paying their car payment. The other one, they're making money every single day,
Every day.
every minute of the day.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and that's that's what we got to pass on to everybody. And everyone needs a wake up call, whether you're young or old.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never too late. And so um, what kind of advice you give to someone? Whether it's opening a restaurant, investing. You talked about it just a few minutes ago. About saving in money, doing the right
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
You know, but you got a little nephew, a little niece near you. About 18 years old. What are you telling them right now? What are you
One of the
talking to them
greatest
about?
things, one of the greatest things that was invented, man, is social media. Now, social media gets a bad rap because people tend to twist it up a little bit. Why is she wearing that? Oh, he think he all that. You can reach anybody in the world in a matter of seconds. Matter of seconds. So let's say someone called me, I want to open a restaurant, and I'll tell them what to do. Oh, well, numero uno, coming soon. So all you have to say, coming soon. I'm working on this. I'm working on that. Let me tell you something else. I don't care what someone is doing. If it's positive, I share it on my page. Don't I, Charlie?
Yes, you do.
Before you had me on your show, I would share it every time you drop something. I would share it. I would share it
Yes, you do.
because you know what's funny about it with people too. Um, Sometimes you don't. If you can't afford to support somebody, you can share somebody's product. Hey, my friend is selling this. Hey, my friend is selling that. If you can't afford it, or if it's not your cup of tea, you can always share with somebody else. What we tend to do is think, it's all about us. It's all about me. You know something? I sell aprons. I share anybody who's selling aprons. I share every restaurant. I don't care what somebody's doing. I can't go to everybody's thing, but I can share it. I can share it. So what I say to people who are trying to start a business, number one, first is save money. I don't care what it is you're doing, save money. And if you want to open a restaurant and you think you're a good chef or a good cook, what you can do first and foremost is volunteer. Go to the shelters, go to the churches, feed the homeless, and keep on sharing. Sharing is caring, that's right. And when you build a name for yourself, the money will come. You can't go into anything just looking for money. You have to be able to build, create a business. Yo, you know what's so funny? I decided one day I'm gonna open a restaurant. Tyler, I just opened the door. That was it. I literally opened the door, said I have a restaurant, and people came. Yeah, but you have to. Yeah, but then you should. Oh yeah, but they will talk themselves out of shit.
Yeah.
My friend knows somebody who said, yo, shut up and open the door. Right? Every day, do something for your business. I don't care because what tends to happen is this: the biggest distraction in life is a job. The biggest distraction in life is a cantankerous person. Tell your dream to somebody and they shoot it down, and then you stop. And so if you want to open a business, whatever you're good at, what God blessed you in, you should spend time every day. I don't care if you bust your ass all day at work. When you get home, give that same dream the same attention. I cannot go to
Right.
sleep unless I make this food, do this meal prep, do something. These foods will give you you know how many people give me an excuse? And I tell them, yo, I don't get a friend of mine. His son got sick. Now we do this thing once a week with the money. Yeah, but I don't care what happened to anybody. I don't care if you get hit by a truck. Put that fucking money in the bank, man. That's it. Because at the end of the day, you're doing this to secure your family. Let me ask you a question, Charlie.
Yeah.
How can you save the world or the United States or your city or town or your area or your block or your street without saving your house? Your four walls is where it all starts. If you don't protect those four walls, I don't give a deal. Oh, I'm trying to feed the homeless. You're the homeless. You're about to be the homeless if you don't contribute and lock down those four walls. Nothing is more important than locking down the four walls at your house, and then you help somebody else out. That's how the shit works.
Preach. Yep. So true. Facts, man, as they say, facts. It we've been around a lot of brilliant minds. They're
Mm-hmm.
they're brilliant. They brilliant minds, but it's all theory, and they don't put the theory to practice. You gotta practice what you preach, and
Charlie, there's so many people that are so much smarter than me that I look up to. Let me be frank with you, brother. I quit high
yep,
school. High school was not for me. I never went to college. I never took one cooking course. Never did. I said I'm opening a restaurant, and I dare somebody to stop me. Yo, I'm not even a big hip hop fan. I'm an EPMD fan. How the hell was I able to work with EPMD and book shows and travel alone? Yo, you can't tell me nothing, man. You cannot tell me what I can't do. I got a phone call. A friend of mine got an ex-friend, got a phone call and said, EPMD's coming to town. Do I want to buy the show? I said, yep, I'll buy the show, but I'll buy it under one condition. The condition was no one else got involved. I'll pay for everything, top to bottom. So I must have spent about $12,000, Charlie. Hotels, limousines, bottles, whatever these guys wanted, I made sure they had it. So let me tell you a quick story. Now, I still am to this day a big Eric Sermon fan. I mean, everything about Eric Sermon I just loved. So when I got the show, I'm sitting at the Marriott Hotel waiting for them to pull up. Eric at the time was driving a black Hummer. So he pulls up in the Hummer. I'm like, oh, shit. Eric Sermon, the green-eyed bandit, E double. Couldn't believe I'm shaking like a little schoolgirl. Couldn't believe it. He pulled up and I said, hey, he said, talk to Chris. He didn't let me fit. Talk to Chris. I'm sitting there like, what the? Talk to Chris. He walked by me like I was some peasant on the street. Like, damn. So I started talking to Chris. Chris was their manager. So rooms are done, everything's taken care of. Here's the rest of the deposit, blah, 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 blah. So they all go to their rooms. I take Eric's bodyguard and Chris, the manager at the time, to the sound check. And we go get food. So they're asking me, who did this? I said, me. Who did that? I did that. Who did all me? So when I saw Eric Sherman again, he said, come here, man. He said, all this is you? I said, all this is me. He goes, okay, all right. From that day on, he showed me that respect. Chris Lighty, yes, he showed me that respect, and he gave me his personal number. Me and Eric became friends. Like I was literally at his house. I've been to shows where some of the most amazing people have been to. So when I tell you, I was fortunate, and shout out to Parrish. Yo, let me tell you a quick story about Parrish Smith. Parrish Smith will not get in the car with you unless he sees your license, you ain't been drinking, and you better not have no warrants on your thing. He does not mess around. He don't mess around. He don't get a count with nobody. Shout out to Will. Shout out to Bus 610. When I tell you, when I was on the road with EPMD booking shows, it was amazing. Like, Charlie, there's no way in the world you can't tell me God ain't real, man. Because the stuff he's done for me has been outrageous. Like it's been just outrageous, man. So many people give up before the blessing comes, and that's one of the biggest problems.
Yep. Gotta have hope. Gotta have hope.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta have the faith. Gotta have the faith in yourself and what your faith is. Have some hope, and it all will ravel. You gotta have some communication with God.
Yes.
First and foremost. And, once you do that, you're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
The
Somebody asked him about Chris Laddie. I never met Chris, but I heard he was a really, really phenomenal dude. He was a part of, I think, Violator management. He had a lot of people. He had a lot of, and awesome dude. He actually had an untimely death a few years ago, but he was an awesome dude. I never met him personally, but I heard a lot of great things about him.
damn, there's your story is amazing, and I always leave this with a lot of people, and eventually you got to put this stuff to writing, man. You gotta
Yes.
you gotta pass this story on. Someone's got to write your book, and I could easily say you can write it. You know what? You can write
Yeah.
it by recording yourself, and then let someone
Hmm.
else edit and do it. Say you don't want to write all them pages, you don't want to type all them pages. Guess what? Record it, just like you're doing, just
Just
as you're
the
doing.
just the EPMD stuff was crazy.
Yeah,
Just I'm sitting
yeah.
there. I'm sitting there, and we're at the where were we at? We were at the Best Buy Theater in Manhattan, downtown. Now Eric was pissed. He did not want to go on last.
Hmm.
So Eric was pissed. Now I'm talking about Black Rob was there, the Locks was there, Cameron, like all these rappers. And Eric was like, all these young boys there, they ain't gonna know who we are. And I'm like, now to me, you can't like I'm an EPMD junkie.
Hmm.
And I'm like, Eric, are you crazy? Yo. And he was like, nah. So they end up having to go last. And I got it on video. I'm gonna send it to you one day, Charlie. I got it on video. I got everybody who was on that stage came out and paid homage to EPMD. And when I
Facts.
tell you, when they went on stage, and it was a lot of young kids, when Eric said, "So amazing," and I've been waiting. When I tell you that crowd went berserk. Even to this day, we was in Boston. Another quick story. They were coming out, and Scratch was there. When they come on stage and they drop that helicopter, I lose it, man. To this day, I mean, I've seen it 1,000 times and still lose it to this day. When I tell you, I've never witnessed nothing like EPMD before in my life. Like just. I mean, I haven't talked to him in a while because it's been a long time. But when I tell you, man, it was a blessing to just be able to run him. My cousin was a bodyguard at a club one day, and I guess EPMD did a show there, and he mentioned my name to them, and they were just like, he was like, "Yo, man," he called me on the phone. Them dudes love you, man. They love you, man. Yo, and I'm gonna tell you a crazy story. One day we was in Philly. I got there early. I talked to Eric. Said, Eric, I want to I want to do the fisherman hats with the logo on it. He said, "Gee, go ahead." So I said, "I'll meet you in Philly." So I zoomed down to Philly. I just got my order in, the shirts and the fisherman hats. So my son was in the car and one of my best friends. I said, "Stay in the car. Let me rock these shirts and hats out. I'll be right back." Obviously, they didn't listen to me. They tried to go to the back door. Kwame, Chub Rock, um, Special Ed, and I think Nice and Smooth. They all were trying to get in, and the dude said, my son was 7 years old. He goes, "That young kid will not come in this club." Eric pulls up in the black Hummer. He tries to go in, and the dude started talking crazy to somebody. And Eric said, "Is that G, son?" He said, "Yeah, let's go." Because Eric said, if he don't come in, I don't come in. And this all happened, and I didn't know what was going on. So I'm
Hmm.
sitting in the front of the lobby selling T-shirts, selling hats. I look in the corner, and I see the stage. My 7-year-old son was on stage with EPMD going like this at 2 o'clock in the morning, rocking out on stage. And I said, "Oh, yeah. I told y'all to stay your ass in the car." That when I tell you, we had some amazing runs, man. Amazing runs. It's unbelievable. I'll never
Love it.
I'll never forget what Eric told me. Eric said, "Gordon, you keep knocking on the door, eventually somebody will answer." I said, "Wow, you're right."
Yeah,
He was right.
definitely. Good stories, man. You when y'all depositing that money every day, make sure you get on a recorder and you tell a story. On that recorder, just tell a story. We gotta lock these stories down, brother.
Yeah,
You know?
man. Yeah, man. And another
That's why
another bad story. I was in Boston. We did a show up in Boston, and they were coming on the ferry. Eric got sick. Now these dudes came to one of our shows, gave me a deposit, ready to go. Eric was supposed to be on that ferry coming over. He got sick. He had to go to the hospital. When I tell you, they said, "G, handle it." I had to drive all the way to Boston, tell a crowd of people who already paid that they ain't coming. I'm throwing up hats and T-shirts. Don't worry, we're coming. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Da, 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 da. They were pissed. They went and checked their phones, and they saw that Eric literally just went to the hospital. It was everywhere. He got sick, went to the hospital.
wow.
Another crazy story. I'm gonna bounce around a little bit. So I got a DJ Buck. He's the program director at I think Hot something in Connecticut. He called me one day about 30 times. I was asleep. Call me. The Buck, what's up? EPMD was supposed to be here last night. I said, what are you talking about? They had a show out here, not for the station, but they were supposed to be here. I said, Buck, if they had a show, you should have called me. I don't see no show. The ones that booked the shows was either Will, me, Eric's sister Kim, Tone, or Chris. I said, and I didn't see any show on the list. So he said, man, they're bugging. Everybody's going crazy. They're wilding out. I said, okay. I said, yo, Eric's coming back from Germany. He's on his way back now. When he comes into Germany, come back from Germany, I'm going to have him call the station and we'll set it up. So I'm listening to the station. Eric pulls in. He finally gets on my text, 911, call me, emergency. He called me, G, what's up? I said, something happened when somebody took a deposit and something didn't go right. And he goes, I didn't hear nothing about that. I said, well, I need you to do me a favor. Call this guy at the station and we'll set it up. So he calls. He said, whatever G say we're going to do, we're going to do it. Don't worry, we're coming. EPMD's coming. So I told my friend Buck, good friend of mine, I said to him, don't worry, I got you. Now, he already had Greg Nice from Nice's Move there. Keith Murray called me on the phone. Yo, G, I want to do that show. Keith's crazy. I said, bro, whatever you want to do, let's go. When I tell you EPMD walked in that building and shut it down, I'm talking about they all stayed for almost 2 hours. And then Keith Murray came out on EPMD's break. The crowd was going crazy. And all I heard was, the most beautifulest thing in this world is just like, man, when I tell you, I looked at him and said, Buck, are we good now? He goes, yes, we are. We're good. And I learned something else from them too. They would stay after every show and sign every autograph. When I tell you real true pioneers, real true legends, and they don't get the credit they deserve. And I think part of that is because they were just two guys that loved music, and had fun with it. But when I tell you two of the real nicest dudes in the world, Eric and Parrish are some legends, man. And it was a blessing to see it, to be around it, So I don't know. A book's coming, man. A book is coming.
I'll definitely be in line for that sucker too. The man, that's beautiful. This is why I wanted you on here. This is why I wanted you.
We talking the phone. Save it for the show. Save it for the show.
Yeah. That's true. Even if we saved it, I know you got 200 more stories to tell.
Oh yeah, man. So, yeah, man.
Yeah. So the I remember, a few years back we were trying to do the thing. Well, we did the thing on New Bedford Guide, and it's the one thing I like about podcasts is I'm not filtered. I can do what I want. What I did learn is I can't be playing any kind of music on these things. The copyright laws get me in trouble.
It's serious, man. So, it's very serious.
Yeah. So I learning all that, I'm trying to reach out to everybody that I can, and like I'm motivated by this. I don't care who the star is. I don't care who the person is.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem. I'll send them. I'll send them a message. I'll send them whatever. All
Yep.
they can do is tell me yes or no, and eventually it's going to be yes.
That's it.
Whoever it is.
Yep.
I'm trying to make things happen around here. And you know, my wife's always saying, "Really, Charlie?" And that's where it came from. Really, Charlie? Well, that's what I came. That's why we came up with this name, because I just want things to be real, to the point. No filtering, no nothing.
Yep.
Um, and you know, but I love your here, and I want this to be not the end. I want this to be a start. And we can continue to do this. We can talk about anything, the investments, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah. It's
your
there, man. It's right there right now. And that's one of the biggest problems is that sometimes when you're in the midst of greatness, you don't realize that what you just did. So I'm telling people right now, I just bought a house in Alabama, and it was so easy to get. Sometimes you got to jump out of your own skin and jump out of your own mind thought process. Like God didn't create you to be struggling. God didn't create you. When I tell you, and I just told you earlier, I'm zooming on the highway, rushing to get to this house so I can do this podcast with you. I'm doing 70, 80 miles an hour. I'm driving. All of a sudden, EPMD comes on. So what you're saying? I'm like, oh shit! Shit. Now I wasn't paying attention. I ended up doing 90 miles an hour. Cop, woo! He pulled me over. I shook my head. He goes, "You was doing 90 miles an hour." I said, "My song came on. I was jamming." He said, "Well, what song is that?" I said, "EPND." So what you saying? He goes, "I don't know that song." That motherfucker gave me a ticket, man. He gave me a ticket, man.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm done with that stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can make or ruin someone's day, but
yeah. But you know what though, man? And this is what I want to say to these young black kids out here. When that cop pulled me over, the one thing I wasn't was scared. Let me tell you why. This system is all about checks and balances, right? So when a cop pulled me over, I know I didn't have no drugs in my car. I don't do drugs. I know I wasn't under the influence. I don't smoke or drink. I know my car is registered. I know my car's insured. I know my insurance is paid and my taxes are paid. So the only thing he could possibly do to me is give me a ticket. All he could do is give me a ticket. So now I ain't saying be no sellout, kiss nobody ass, but I'm not gonna see some of these officers, and you can attest to this. You were an officer, and you were an awesome officer. Not only an awesome officer, you are a good person. Some
thank you.
people will trigger you, right? They'll say little
Hmm.
smart comments to trigger you. Bro, I was jamming, listening to EPMD. What's up? Like, give me my ticket so I can go. And learn. See what there's been a breakdown in family. There's been a breakdown in structure, and the head of the family is the man. And by either his own fault, he messed up, society, or whatever the case may be, that man's structure in the home is gone. So you mean to tell me if me and you are together, married, struggling, we don't get no help. But the minute you kick me out, the minute you put me on child support, the minute you get assistance and low income housing, now you get help as long as I'm not there. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
So you have to when I tell you go backwards to controlling the four walls in your house. Let me tell you something, man. Me and my wife bought this house, right? Not this house, another house back on the East Coast, and she did not want that house. Almost in tears, honey. It's disgusting. It looks terrible. It smell like cat piss. It was just bad, all the way around bad. I said, I got this house. I can fix it. No, no, not my son. Dad, what's wrong with you? I said, trust me, I can fix this house. We bought the house for $80,000, Charlie. Right now, the house is worth almost $300,000. And I went through every nook and about 85% of the house, I fixed it myself. I figured if I make a mistake, then I'll pay somebody to come and fix it. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, fear will stop you. Fear, I'm scared, or I'm not sure. Like jump in the pool, man. Jump in there and figure it out. Jump in there and get your shit together because and the worst thing in the world is be 50 years old saying, now I'm gonna get started. And there's nothing wrong with when you start. But how about you make your mistakes at 20? Right? You learn, you fix it, you get it right at 30. And let me say something else too. Young people and even old people, find somebody that loves you, man. I found an incredible woman who supports me, who has my back, who's my best friend, and everything I do is to make her happy. Every time I wake up in the morning, my job is to make her happy. I give thanks to God and I try to make her happy. And at the end of the day, be around people that love you. Be around people that appreciate you. Be around people that you can talk to. I mean, it ain't not worse than being a 50-year-old dude in the club. Are you crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Check this out. I want to play something here. And I'm going to
All
ask
right.
you a question at the end of this. All right.
Yep.
Let's try to do this. 1 second here. Trying to add. Hold on 1 second here. I need your wife to produce and direct this, man. Uh, Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
It's not going, man. It's not going there. But
Something's coming
anyways,
up.
we're gonna leave that alone. The
What was it?
one thing is the that was your highlight video, right? That you
Okay.
hit there. Um, and one
Where you at, Charlie? Where the choppers, man? We lost Charlie for a minute. We'll be back. There he is.
all right, sorry about that.
It's all
Um,
right.
so that was your greatest hits. You know, gave a variety of different foods and stuff like.
Ooh. Ooh.
I was
Yeah.
trying to get that on the screen, uh, so it was bothering me. But as you guys are, it's you and your wife
Yeah.
producing it, doing all their things, and how did you? I mean, how did she not laugh? There's no shaking of that video or nothing. She's
Wait a
not
minute. Wait a
laughing at
minute.
all.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. The first two videos she did, what?
Mhm.
It was out of control. I said, honey, you know I love you. Keep the camera still. So then she got it. You know what's so funny about us, man? We have fun doing everything we do. Like, I kid you not, we've done about 7 to 8 different businesses together. We are around each other 24 hours a day. And I tell you, I can't wait for tomorrow. I can't wait to look at what's next for us. Like we bought a house in a historical part of Alabama. This house is built in 1930s. There is no way black folks were allowed to buy no house back in the 1930s.
Hmm.
We bought this house. We've gone through it with a fine tooth comb. We're doing construction ourselves. We're fixing everything up. And I'm telling you, like, like she has been the blessing that I've been waiting for. Now things have worked out well for me over the years, but when the minute she came along, it was a blessing.
God
It's a complete
bless.
blessing. Yeah.
God
Food,
bless.
food, Charlie, is the common denominator. I was coming from Newport. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning. I had a temporary plate on the back of the car. The inspection sticker was fugazi. It wasn't right. It was shady looking.
Mm,
I forgot my wallet. All I had on was my chef coat, and I'm driving I was driving over the bridge. I'm driving. Cop pulled me over. State trooper. Cops everywhere. Sir, you're driving kind of slow. You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Oh, and before I left, I was walking out of the kitchen. When I left during the catering function, I helped the dishwasher dump the trash, the bottles. Liquor got all over my chef coat. I smelled like a damn brewery. I smelled terrible. So I'm in the car driving. The cop pulled me over. The cop goes, sir, you smell like liquor. You don't have your license. You got a temporary plate. The inspection sticker don't look right. I said, well, sir, all I have on me is my check. So I gave him my check. And he looked at it, went back, and came back and said, thank you. I said, for what? He goes, you cooked for my sister's wedding last week at Ocean Cliff. And I said, wow. So just drive careful. And drove off. And I'm telling I had no identification. All I had was my paycheck. So when I tell you, food has always been the common denominator for me. Like when people came to my restaurant on Charles Street,
yeah.
and if anybody's watching, you can attest to this. You would literally walk in the door on the first person you see. It's about 20 seats. I didn't write nothing down. You just tell me what you want and I'm cooking. I'm literally throwing plates all over the place. When I tell you it was like going to grandma's house, it was grandma's house. So cooking has been something for me, man. It's been a game changer for me. So am I really done? Am I really retired? Am I really calling it quits? I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm gonna say no. I will say
And
no.
I'm mad at you too. Because when you came to that
Yeah.
brunch, I wanted to come out and see you. You ate your food and you was gone.
I, I I ate and I was waiting. I says, well, I just that food was unbelievable. I mean,
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
it was like kid in the candy store. Only thing it was food. It was every kind of meat you could think
Everything.
about. French toast, waffles, pancakes, sausage, bacon, pastries.
Shrimp and grits. Woo!
You grab both of them, and it was just all over the place. And then I found out I missed some other people from New Bedford because I left so quick.
Yo, Charlie, when I tell you a tear came to my eye, New Bedford stood up for me, man. When I tell
Mhm.
you at least 100 people from New Bedford in the course of that day popped up. Nika Rudolph, Brian Magnet, Shannon. I can't think of everybody.
Yep.
Youngblood. I'm sitting there like I could not believe the people that came and hugging me and taking pictures. I was in my feelings, man. I said I could not believe that somebody would drive 45 minutes to an hour to come and eat. Excuse me, but when I tell you it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal.
it was well worth it. So my wife, she cooks she cooks good all the time. But
Mm-hmm.
man, sometimes I gotta say, hey, I owe you 12.50 for this meal. I owe you 12, I gotta pay you for it. And definitely you know actually the first thing she ever made for me was some pork chops, some jack,
Uh-oh.
applesauce,
Nice.
and it was just a bunch of stuff, and that was only in the beginning. I said, man, this is good, and it was she got me right there. She's beautiful and she can cook good. So
Listen, that's a
yeah.
combination right there. That's a combination.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. The so how's your brother, man? Uh, How's Rob, man? How's he
He's
doing?
doing good. I haven't talked to him in a while. He's been bouncing around. He was overseas for a long time. He's been working overseas for a while. I don't know if he's back right now. I haven't talked to him in a little while to give him a call. So he's been bouncing around a little bit, and there was this COVID thing too. It's been kind of hard to reach him. But last time I talked to him, man, he was doing phenomenal, man. He's really, really doing good.
Yeah.
Really doing good. Yeah.
Craziest thing is now I know why he was smiling all the time. It's because
Mm-hmm.
he had a brother like you that kept him laughing all the time, all day.
Yeah, it's amazing, man, that when you look back to how we grew up and how things were so simple. What's going on? What's going on? How life
Hmm.
was so simple, man, and look at it now, how complex things is. The world's changing, and I'll be honest with you, man. I think some of this change that's going on right now is good. It's really good that people are starting to appreciate history a little more. You know, Black people have contributed so much to this society and way of life, and it's time for people to start embracing each other. You know, it's so funny. Um, when you take a second and just talk to people, you'll actually figure out you got so much in common. I was getting some gas before we came to Alabama, and I was filling my tank up. The guy was behind me, and his windshield was just disgusting, just dirty. Old guy, white guy. So I get out. I said, "Man, I know you can't see in that window." So I started washing the window for him. "Oh, thank you so much." And this and that. My wife just passed away. Da, da, da. Just a simple gesture of washing this man's window, giving him something to smile about, something to be thankful about. I told him have a great day. Like it don't cost you nothing, man. It don't cost you nothing to be kind to people. Charlie, I was I got up early one morning, went to the store to get some food to cook. I was gonna come home and cook my breakfast and sit down and watch TV and relax. I get there and there's a 70-year-old lady at the register, and this lady was miserable, manhandling my food, snapping at people, and I would know the old Gordon would have cursed her out.
Hmm.
But then I'm thinking, you must have did something really foolish in your 70 some odd years of life. You're working at Stop and Shop later on in life, and it's different if you're loving it and you're happy and you're laughing because you're enjoying what you're doing. This lady was there because she had to be there. So there's nothing I could have said or did to make her feel better.
True.
So I just left it alone. I'm
Hmm.
gonna go home and enjoy my sports center, watch my videos, and put my feet up and relax because I did the work 20, 30 years ago. I did it. I can enjoy it now. So I'm telling everybody in the midst of this COVID, what are you doing? What are you doing for the next 5 years? Yo, my son graduated, was it last year or 2 years ago now? 2 years ago. He graduated from Morehouse College, my youngest son. We go to the graduation. It's 90 degrees out there, and I'm looking kind of smooth with my tight suit on. I'm kind of fat, but my tight suit on. And I'm sitting in the audience chilling. And this guy gets up and speaks. And I had never seen this man before in my life. His name was Robert Smith. And he said he's paying all the kids' tuition. So my son
Man.
graduated from school with no debt and got a great job and doing phenomenal. My oldest son, when I tell you Justin is an ideal father. I've never seen somebody just care for the children the way he does. Just phenomenal with his children. And what's so funny about me? I learn from my kids, man. I'm fortunate to learn from them, watch and listen, and we talk. My middle son and I are still working on our issues, but it's always going to be a work in progress. So at the end of the day, let your kids be kids and let them be grown. My kids are grown now. When they was younger, I would threaten them, I'll come down there and beat you down, and blah, blah, blah. They're grown men now. And my youngest son called me and thanked me. Dad, thank you for being tough on me. Thank you for forcing me to save money. Thank you for making me. I had to make him send me his bank statement every single week and threaten to come down and beat him down if he didn't do it. Just
Hmm.
before this pandemic hit. And that money he got now, he's thankful to have it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
these blessings I'm telling people, man, like start with your family. Start with a phone call. Start with a I'm sorry. Start with a I love you. Start with a let's fix it. And then go from there. And I learned this from my father-in-law. My father-in-law was talking to me about money, Charlie, and I didn't catch what he was saying. All of a sudden, something clicked. And I said, I'll never be broke again.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never, ever live check to check again. I'll never be broke. I want us to come back and do another episode of this just talking about money. I want to get deep into that money aspect because so many people think money's evil and this and that. If you ain't got no money, you can't say shit. Nothing.
Well, you tell me the date, you tell me the
Okay.
time, and we'll do that.
Okay.
And regardless of what's on the schedule for the Really Charlie podcast, you tell me, and we'll make sure we get it done that day.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
The I mean, I love these comments that are going. I want to thank everybody for taking the time to definitely, you know, put some comments down there. Definitely something I can look at later. Gordy can look at later, and we can
Definitely.
reflect. And this video is always going to be available on Anchor, Spotify. I'm going to have it on YouTube. Definitely available. So if you missed anything that Gordon's telling you, just go back to it. Go back on YouTube. That's the one thing about YouTube. It's a really Charlie channel. You go on it, you can just listen. Every day I got my earbuds on and I'm listening to somebody's podcast. Because I'm trying to get better. I'm trying
That's
to
it.
do the right thing. So, and if got to be educational, inspirational, and that's what I love. So let me read this last comment here.
Okay.
From Michael Consatio. It says, "This is why y'all need to keep watching the Really Charlie podcast. Share this podcast. If y'all like his show, then show the man some love and share his podcast." Michael, I appreciate it. I really do.
Oh yeah.
Michael also has his own podcast. He has his own podcast. It's called Sports Corner.
Okay.
And eventually, thank you, Michael. But I'll be on there April 1st. We're gonna talk a few things, and and we look our friends. You got Brian Magnet, you got Berto Carter, Crystal Lister. You got Stephen Lopes, Derek Consatio, everyone. Got Mike Herron and then Fall River. Mika, she's doing her thing. Tamika's doing her thing. It's what I try to tell people is support these things, support these
Yes.
podcasts. They're getting messages out. They're allowing you to talk. You know, how many times we're on Facebook, we're talking about sports.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and it's good. You could just say what you want. You're with your friends, and you know, do nothing but laugh and dog each other, dog our team. It's all good.
Definitely.
Let me see. What's this say? It's a long comment here. Got to read them, man.
Uh,
I'm not trying to make an argument. You need to know the story before you can speak on it. The older woman that was unhappy because she was working at a stop and shop could still be working to help her family build. Well,
no,
you know,
no, that
it,
that wasn't the case. When you okay, you can walk into a place like Walmart, right? And there's an older person working there, and hey, how you doing? Good morning, good morning. Whatever her issue was, it wasn't my issue. So it'd be different if I did something to offend her or she had a problem. But if she's just miserable, and it wasn't just me, the person behind me, the person before me. So what we have to stop doing is it's not my job to carry your cross for you. Now, if you want help, I just told you, I went over there and washed somebody's window one day for no reason because I wanted to put a smile on his face because I had a smile on my face. It's not my job to save somebody who for whatever reason. So when you want to dissect something, because I was there, I was right there. So it's not my job to figure out why she was upset. I don't give a damn why. I'm going home, watch TV, cook these eggs and these pancakes and bacon, and chill out. So respectfully, I totally disagree. There's no reason for her to have an attitude with me. I don't know about the person before. I don't know what happened in her house. But if you don't like your job, don't work there. Don't work
yep.
there. If you become, listen to me, Charlie, when you came in that restaurant, before
Mm-hmm.
I saw you, didn't you see me go to every table?
Yep.
How you doing? Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. I had food in the kitchen that was about to burn if I didn't get back in there. How y'all doing? Thank you so much. Because when somebody comes and share with me, like to me, that's a bullshit excuse. It's a bullshit
Yeah.
excuse. Um, when you wake up in the morning, you got 24 hours to fix it. That's all. 24 hours to fix
Yep. Uh, you don't need to explain to me, and you don't need to explain to a lot of people.
it. Mm-mm, mm-mm,
Hundreds, thousands, thousands of people know who you are. Thousands
mm-hmm.
of people know what kind of spirit you got.
Yeah,
Thousands of people know that. Guess what? What was in your pocket was in their hands in a matter of seconds. So,
that's right.
no need to explain on a really Charlie podcast
No,
because
no.
I know who you are, and
Yeah.
God. So, but the you gotta save one of them aprons for you because you ain't retiring, brother. We're gonna get you. Please keep doing those videos, man. Keep doing those videos, man.
The
You're
video, you
definitely
know what? I need to work on season two. Season one, and I'm gonna start sending you some videos, Charlie. Season one has been like I never would have thought. I have a video up there with cornbread that I made,
hmm
almost 16,000 views. Could not believe it. So when I tell you, that's the point I'm trying to say. I am so thankful and so blessed that I can't even stop to worry about. Like if you want to be happy, come on this train. If you want to share and love and be happy, but if you think I'm gonna stop and back up to go get you, you must be crazy.
uh-huh.
Ain't no
Yeah.
way. Ain't no way this train is stopping, man.
Uh-huh. Look at Nathan
Cornbread, you
Drake.
know that. Cornbread.
He needs it. Yeah. We got that cornbread and my wife's chili. Oh my God.
Woo! Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, brother, it's only ending if you want it to end. If you got
Listen,
something else
listen.
you
We,
want.
we we can do a part two if you want to. I mean, like I said, I prepared myself for this all day. I took my
hmm
little nap earlier, got my rest, had my coffee. I said, whatever Charlie want to talk about, we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah. The we had I've been listening to a lot of different podcasts and getting some ideas
Mhm,
and kind of adjusting them to be my ideas and there is something I'm very interested. It's called
mhm,
blackpress.com
mhm,
and there was a girl Georgia Fort. She's used she's a news anchor and one thing I heard, she was they were interviewing her and she was saying that she just wants to get things out there. She was doing
yeah.
a lot of stories about police brutality and there's one thing that her producer and director was telling her is to put this man, the one that was arrested, put his criminal record out on the during the show,
Yeah.
and get that information. That was her job. So
Yep.
she said, "Well, I'm gonna also take it a step further. I'm gonna also find out what's going on with this officer because two officers had already spoke to me, and they said the dude is this, that, and the other thing. It was more ugly than good. So she
Hmm.
looked into that. Well, her producer was mad at her. I didn't tell
Yep.
you to do that. I told you to do this. So um, end result is, she had to do it the way they wanted to, and that bothered her. That bothered her, and it led to one day she decided that she's just gonna go to work in front of the camera, and she's gonna have her
Hmm.
curly hair. She's gonna have her
Yep.
naturally curly hair. She's a black woman, and she just wore her hair the way she knows how to wear it.
Hmm.
And they wrote her up for wearing her hair naturally curly. You gotta straighten your hair. You gotta, she got They wanted her to do all that. She was like, "What's wrong with the way I'm in front of this camera every single day?"
Hmm.
And just because my hair's curly. you don't want me in front of the screen. Um, but she ended up taking all that and getting motivated.
Yeah.
And now she
Yeah.
does her own podcast. She's got her own thing. She got a lot of videos out there, and but what I'm getting at is that don't let anybody stop you. You said the
No.
same thing.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody stop you.
It's
Just
so
learn.
you know what the hardest thing in the world is? The hardest thing in the world is getting up and going to work. That to me never made sense. Do you know that you can go to a store, Costco's, BJ's, Sam's, and go get a case of water for 24 bottles of water for $2 or $3, go outside in the park and sell bottled waters for $1, $2. On a hot day, cold, ice cold water. There's a hustle out there, Charlie. I was selling hot
Hmm.
dogs after the club. I used to run to cart. I had a hot dog cart at the gas station. As soon as you left Joe Vons, where you had to come get some gas. Me and my cousin I made almost $1,000 selling hot dogs. I was selling hamburgers for $6, $7. Come on, man, too much. Where's you gonna go? 4 in the morning, ain't no food nowhere. Give me that money, man. So when I'm trying to tell people this, you have to figure out a way to make yourself happy first and foremost. Like
Hmm.
there should be a network, like what you're doing right now. If any young person wants to cook, wants to open a restaurant, they should be able to ask these questions, and I should be able to answer them. Do this, do that, go to school. I didn't go to school for cooking, but you should go because it's a different time now. Back when I was doing it, there was no social media. Listen, I was fearless. I didn't give a damn what nobody said. And shout out to my man Dave Consatio. I just saw him come in and love you, bro, love you. So
Hmm.
my nephew called me one day and said, I want to cook. I said, go. Yeah, but go. There's nothing to talk about. Just go. The worst thing, Charlie, the worst thing in the world is to be 60, 70 years old talking about I shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Hmm.
Don't nobody want to hear that, man. Don't nobody want to hear that. Go out there and make it happen. Go out there and listen, man, they laughed at me. They dogged me out. They talked behind my back. And they're still, I don't let nobody who has a 9 to 5 job tell me nothing about entrepreneurship.
So true. So
I
true.
opened my first restaurant when I was 24 years old, a place called Woody's. And I'm talking about giving back to kids, sponsoring basketball teams. The minute I got a taste of being my own boss, I could never work for nobody again. Never. So
Hmm.
so it's a blessing to be able to talk the way you want to talk, walk the way you want to walk. And you know what's so funny too? Us as Black people, this freedom stuff, freedom is a state of mind. I had a white dude back home call me the N-word, and I laughed at him. I said, I live next door to you. My house is better than yours. I got a better car than yours. My wife is finer than your wife. And when you
Hmm.
go to work in the morning, I make sure I go outside and water my grass. So you can see me in my pajamas, water my grass. So if you think you're better than me and you only claim to fame that you ain't Black, you're supposed to be successful. If this society was created for you to win, why am I passing you?
Hmm.
See, that's where see white people, a racist white person is mad because they don't have it. We were down here in Alabama. I'm talking about people were living. I was in the deep south one time down in Alabama. I saw these houses the size of a shoebox with dirty clothes in the front, dog so skinny with his ribs showing, little kid on a dirt bike, and a father with no teeth and a patch on his eye with a Confederate flag. That's all you got? That's all you got, and you don't like me because I'm Black? You don't like
Hmm.
yourself. It ain't nothing to do with me. See, I had to learn to stop trying to carry other people's burdens. I had to learn to, I don't care what you call, that word, that N word used to distract me. You could say it, I get mad, hit you, we get into a fight, the cops come, I go to jail. I lost. You know how I stop racism now? Is by me being successful. I don't have time to be talk to no racist people. If you're
Hmm.
simple minded and you ain't put two and two together to make something for yourself, I can't even talk to you.
So true. Preach,
Black
man.
people,
Preach.
let's get this money, man. Let's get this money. Charlie, every black man should have 5 friends that he can call on for $5,000 to go get this business. I want to be the bank for my family. I want my son to say, Dad, I got a business proposal. I got an idea. I need money. Let's go, son. I got you.
So true.
All this shoulda, woulda, coulda stuff, I don't even want to hear it no more.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We got a few people all over the world doing the same thing, man. But
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna definitely talk about that because when you're ready, we're definitely gonna do it.
Let's
It'll
do it.
be it'll be you and I just preaching some facts about how to do this, how to be successful. And oh, I want to say hi to Anna. Anna, I'm sorry. Want to send out my condolences to you and the family. God bless y'all. And they had someone pass away in their family, and
You
just
have to
want
keep
to
you
say
on
that.
prayer.
Yes. Um, but we're definitely gonna do something, and I can't wait. I
Let's
can't
do
wait.
it. I'm ready, Charlie. And then, before we go, every black man, if you can't do nothing else, get life insurance. If you pass away and die, your wife, your children should not have to bury you and then go back to work. It should be life changing. When you pass away, there should be doors opening for other people in your family. Not leaving Jordans and TVs and couches and furniture. There should be a life insurance policy that should be 100, 200, million, $500,000 so that the next generation can continue to go.
So true.
That's number one. Number two, I don't give a damn what you do or how much money you make. Take a certain amount of money out of that check and put it in a separate account that you cannot touch. Period. That's how it starts. And then we can talk business after that.
So true. Hey, still there, bro?
I'm right here.
All right. Okay. The So that's definitely going to be our show. We're gonna we're gonna definitely put that together, you and I. But I need you
Let's do
to
it.
you got to be in control of that because of your schedule. So
Okay.
just when you're ready, you just let me know, and we'll put it in place. You know, whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
Let's do it. Let's do
Um,
it. Actually, if you want, Charlie, we can do something once a month, once every other month. Just come on there and just chop it up and just show them how to do it.
all right, that's good for me. That's definitely good for me because I ain't going nowhere. This is something I love.
Go.
I love,
Let's go.
and we're gonna continue to do that.
Sounds good.
Well, first and foremost, God bless you. God bless your family. And please, you need me, you give me a holler. We're only a phone call away. You got my number, I get yours. If you
Definitely.
need anything, regardless of what it is, all I can do is say yes or no.
I appreciate
And all right, man, 5 stars for you again, brother. Cooking,
it. New
you got
Bedford.
five.
I gotta thank New Bedford, man. New Bedford's always showed up for me. Of course, Providence, South Carolina, my family in Philly. I cannot tell y'all enough. I am so blessed, humbled, and thankful for everybody that's supported me from buying aprons. Dino, uh, Ralph Chummick, like these guys have been supporting me for years, man. It's ridiculous. And I love y'all. And like I said before, you motivate me, you guys push me, and I appreciate it. No, that
Yeah. You got any of your merchandise, you share it, you put it on your
yes,
page. I'm
I
gonna
got
share it. And I'll put it.
the last aprons coming out soon. The last batch of the black aprons should be out in the next. Actually, when I get back home, I have them ready to go.
Hey,
But
just like you.
also subscribe to that YouTube channel.
Yes. Yep. The Look at that. My wife's saying great show. I love it. You know. The All right, brother. God bless, man. You need me,
God
give
bless,
me a
brother. Love
holler.
you guys. Thank you so much for the time. Appreciate
All
it.
right, man.
All
Anytime,
right.
man.
All right.
God bless. Later. Oh, definitely. Whew, love that brother. I listen to all his videos, every single one of them that he has on YouTube. Chef Gordon Woodbury of Let's Eat TV channel 401 on YouTube. Can't he's got everything down packed on that YouTube channel. Food, different types, all kinds of food. Please just go on that channel, subscribe, like it, and put the notifications on there so you know when he's putting out a new video. Because definitely he's going to teach you something, and he's done a lot. He's done a lot in his young life, and so continue to support him. Continue to support the Really Charlie podcast here on StreamYard, Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, and Facebook. I'll be back on tomorrow with another guest, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So please continue to support me. I'm definitely loving this, and I love you guys best of all. Always here, same people, new faces, everybody's coming on here and supporting the podcast, and I really, truly, truly appreciate it. Mask those beautiful faces, hand sanitize and wash your hands. Stay safe, everyone. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow.